PVZ, Belshir Vestige, Diamond Level. I forget the rest of the title for this. There's a dog nipping at my back. Hello. Okay. Oh, music. Music, definitely turning that off. Alright, we have... Oh, this is weird. I thought that the bolt would be diamond. Maybe it's just a mistake. I was placed in a lower lead at the start of the season before as well, but now I fixed all that. We have the red Zerd Disruption in the bottom right corner, throwing out the Good Luck Have Fun in the U2, and skdeimos, something like that. I'm not good with pronunciation. He will be the blue Protoss. There's not going to be anything too strange except for the Zerd not mining, or getting drones rather. He must be going for an 8 pool. The Protoss, if he scouts it, should be able to handle it. It's not too hard to fend these off anymore. You just have to make sure you scout it. If he does a late scout, no. Okay, so he's doing the scout right away. That's going to get this taken care of. If you forge, you make a wall up here, and you just keep reinforcing the wall with more gateways and such until your cannons are made. He should be throwing it down to forge automatically soon anyways, regardless of if he scouted this, but some people will go for the 17 Nexus instead. So he sets his rally points. He's definitely going to see it. Well, yeah, with that last point there. Excuse the cough. Overlord's being made. Protoss should immediately throw something down. He has seen the pool. And what does he do? He throws on a pylon up here. Now you can do that and then a forge over here and then make a cannon in your mineral line. But I think you can throw up a wall as well with a 8 pool. That is not a good place for the forge. That is a terrible place for the forge. It's not going to help any wall in future. It's not doing anything. It's out there. It's going to be taken. He made it about the same time that this pylon finished. He could have just put it there. But he should still be able to hold this. Once it finishes, he'll have a cannon here and he should be fine. I don't know if I agree with the gateway or assimilator. You will need those minerals for a cannon, possibly two, depending on how you micro this. If you hold position around the cannon, that is very helpful. We'll see. We'll have to see if he does that. He does block it in, or he is walling it off, but there's still room for the Zerglings, and you can do this without using more minerals on buildings by just using your probes to hold position. So now he has to run these around, and there goes the hold position, so the Zerglings can't get to it. This isn't the best hold, but he is going to... the pylon is going down. There comes the cannon, with the probes actually attacking. There goes the mineral walk. He will be able to clear these up. So that's all fine. The Zerg has taken his natural. That will be coming up soon. Nothing else going on. No gas from the Zerg. We won't have to worry about speedlings anytime soon. Overlord will come in to scout here later. He didn't go after the forge. He wanted to do as much damage as possible, but he could send two to four lanes out here and do a lot of damage. That would be a nice follow-up to keep the Protoss on one base and to take out the tech, or the forge rather, so he can't get those upgrades. And did he lose any workers? He lost 2 workers in that, but he lost all those Zerglings, and he did set himself behind. The 8 pool really does hurt you immensely unless you do similar damage to the Protoss. He must have placed the forge too close to the net, to where you have to put the nexus, so it must be in the way for that expansion. A fault on his part, but it can be taken care of. I would hope that he starts getting his gas soon. He has built the assimilator, but he has not taken any probes into that. Starts a spine crawler for defense. He's taking double gas. A nice play off of this would be mutas. He could also go for a big Zergling Baneling bust. Usually that's against Terran, but it can work against Toss at times too, especially if you set them behind. And him having to destroy this forge and not having this base is definitely setting himself behind. Probably more damage done to himself than from the Zerg, but he might be able to recover from that. We will see. And so that goes, oh, he was moving to his third. I did not see that actually. So the third will be almost up, as well as the natural. I just don't think he's going to be able to defend that if the Zerd scouts it. The Overlord, or I'm sorry, the Zerd did start it with that Overlord, and so he knows it's there, and he knows that the second base is probably going down, or the natural. He is making 12 lanes. That's a very good response, but he still doesn't have enough gas for speed, and that's really going to start hurting him. He's going to take a third to the right side instead of down in the bottom left where it's normally taken. It's just easier to protect there. It's a shorter distance, and you can get creep there much easier, so you can keep moving it. So you can get there, respond to any harassment that Protoss might be sending out much faster than if you take this base. He's probably going to force a big response out of Protoss. The Mothership Core can kill the speedlings uncontested, but it takes a few shots to kill every single one, and there's, I believe, 12 of them that were in production. So he's going to see this. He's not microing the Zerdlings. He should just focus down the Nexus and maybe get those probes. Speed still isn't started, but he has enough gas now. He's going to just throw these Zerdlings away. He could have done so much with this, but he has, and he still has these Zerdlings taking down probes. A total of 5 will go down after all said and done. These Zerdlings will escape, and 2 more going over here, but the Stalker will see them, or let them run just right by. 8 more Zerglings in production. Still no Zergling speed. I don't know what he's saving that gas up for. He does scout the Protoss base, however. And Protoss is... He takes care of the Zerglings. He's down 8 supply. Or I'm sorry, 11 now. Not... Oh, he just made a few drones. So we see Zerd taking a third gas. No layer, no speed. He's not... Oh, okay, speed has just now started, and there goes layer as well. He doesn't have any real timings going down. I don't know what he plans on doing with this. His third base is there. It has the queen starting. He'll be able to start getting that third base protected. He probably wants to throw a few spines there. If he just massed a decent amount of speedlings, though, he could have easily have taken this out. Protoss would have had to have either give it up entirely, or he would have moved in and lost a few units, or even with a few of them going over there, just the mothership, he could have ran into the main with more Zerglings, or speedlings rather, and that would have done a lot better, but he just didn't get that in time. He lost a big opportunity there. Protoss does throw down a Stargate. He's probably going to go into Phoenixes with that. That would be normal, but it should come out much sooner than this. The Zerg will be prepared. He does have... Oh, I thought that would be an Usher Queen. He has 2 queens at the natural, not in the main, but he does have Spore Crawler. He does want to move a queen up here and get the inject off. He has Roach Warren, even supply right now. And this base is getting a spine and a spore. That's good. I believe I heard that 2 spines and 2 spores are the requirement if you know or suspect Dark Templars are coming. But since he doesn't know, and he's apparently not suspecting them as oracles are being created and queued up. Just a quick side note, you don't really want to queue up units. It doesn't help you in any way, and if you're macroing correctly, you can spend those minerals elsewhere, or that minerals and gas, of course, and you can still spend them elsewhere and be more efficient. So we see the Spire coming out. If the Protoss started that and switched over to Phoenixes, because I assume Mutas are coming out, then he would destroy the Mutalist, but still just the Oracle, +1 weapons. He hasn't scouted anything. He doesn't even know that this base exists. He probably assumes there's one down here in the normal third location, but he has no idea about this. Zerd took the 5th gas, but okay, there goes the workers, and he's taking the last one there. So that'll give him plenty of production. Protoss taking a 4th base before the Zerg. That definitely shows you that something is strange about the game, for better or for worse. He's sitting on a lot of gas. The Council going down. He's probably going to switch into Templars to spend that gas. He has throwing down a few more gateways, no Robo in sight, so that's what I would assume. Maybe get Storm and Archons, and that will kill the Mutas, but they can still move much faster than Templars and Archons do, so they will definitely be a thorn in his side for this game. Roach speed is almost done. I don't know why he's really getting that if he has the Spire out. I would assume that he would make some Overlords and just mass those Mutalisks, 10 or 11. Oh, he'd be up to about 13 by the time he could... What? Oh, okay. He started 5 Mutalisks, melee attack, and air attack. Air attack does work much better when playing against Protoss, but usually against Terran or other Zergs, you will want to go for the air defense. It protects against the the marine attacks and the Mutalisk ores that ZVZ usually falls into. It just does much better. It's much more efficient. So we see he did scout the Spire, I want to say. Yes, he does know about the Spire. So he's going to start massing Stalkers. He could get blinked at this point. He's about to supply block himself, and he's making another Void Ray. Phoenixes would be a much more efficient in this scenario. They can kite Mutalisk endlessly, and once you get the range upgrade, if he stays on Mutalisk, you would just destroy any amount that the Zerg could throw out. So he does start blink. No Templar archives in sight, except for right now, so that's good that he's thinking about that. Not in the best location. Zerg could easily come over here snipe this. He's going to find this base when he flies in with the Mutalisk, and he might even snipe off the blink research, which will be big. Protoss will need either one of those. Moving in from the left side though, he should get this Void Ray. You don't want to stay too long though. Mutalisks are not good in open combat. They are good when poking in and out at mineral lines and such. And if you get enough, you can actually fight a Stalker Ball, but it does require a large amount, and you want to be on high upgrades. For that scenario, he probably would want to double Spire and get both the attack and defense upgrades at the same time. It does have his 4th base starting. It's halfway complete. And Protoss has a few probes here. He's basically just trying to get the gas, but I don't know what he's spending that gas on. He still doesn't have enough gateways. He has 10 pylons in creation, which is much more than he would ever need. He really wants to protect this mineral line, even though it's basically mined out, but he doesn't have nearly as many here, or here, or here. So if the Zerg just hit a different mineral line, he would be very happy with the results. He does start the air defense and the infestation pit. He probably could go into, there goes the hive, he's probably going to go Ultralisk. He could go into, he could switch over to Roach Hydra and get the Vipers as well. But I think Ultralisk they're becoming a lot more popular in the pro scene. We see those in basically every Zerg game that I've been watching, especially in the WCS. We all know the Suppy game, that he came back with the Hero Ultralisk. There's actually a post on Reddit about that. It was very interesting. The Protoss not mining from his gas in his main base, though. So that's going to start hurting him if he was spending the gas. He does have Storm and he does have a few Templars, but still not nearly enough production facilities to spend his money. He doesn't know anything about the Zerg. He doesn't know about his 3rd or 4th base. He really needs to work on that scouting. The Zerg doesn't know about the 4th base, and the 5th base just went down for Protoss, I believe. Yeah. So if he was just more mobile and had more map vision, he could definitely hit the Protoss and spread him out, and then hit with the Mutalisk from behind and be a lot more efficient with these units. He has a scary army in general, but see, the Phoenix just endlessly kite the Mutalisk. You want to pull them back and force the Phoenix to either run away or come closer, and then keep hitting them back and forth. It isn't efficient, but it does eventually kill them rather than being endlessly kited. So we see more Void Rays, Stalkers, and a few Templar. He has, how many? 4 Templar, and he does have Storm. He does throw one down there. The Mutalisk will regenerate very quickly. That's a very scary blink, unless there goes a Storm. He's just sitting in the Storm. He doesn't want to do that with those Mutalisks. They will die very quickly. He wants to throw down more Storms. I know he has more, but he's not going to. He's just throwing High Templar at the army. He's dropping in supply pretty quickly. He has 2 more Void Rays with 2 more Phoenixes and some Stalkers. One moment. Yeah. And so that just ruined the video. But He is moving in here with these roaches and Mutalist. One more warp in of Stalkers, and these Phoenixes could clean this up if he did it very quickly. Of course, none of that is in sight. 2 Void Rays will march in. If they focus down the roaches, that would be the most efficient thing. So, we will see Zerglings going in the main, however. Going straight for the photon cannons. He needs to micro these to make them efficient. He had the same problem earlier too, but he is moving out and he's going to take out the 3rd. The photon cannon will fall to the Zerglings. The Void Ray will be doing free damage, but it's not going to be fast enough. If he had Burrow right now, the Zerg would be completely unstoppable, but he's already in a really good spot anyways. These Void Rays are probably going to fall to the Mutalist momentarily, and the Roaches will just start clearing out buildings and other units. He just has to focus fire the Void Rays and he'll be fine. He has 2 Swarm Hosts in production. He did start a lot of other tech, the Infestor, the Locust Duration, and the Air Attack level 2. So with 10 Mutalists, that'll be very helpful. If Protoss is microing, I'd say that he has a chance to take care of the Mutalist, but he hasn't been doing that very efficiently. Zerg has fallen in supply, though. He kind of left that army to die. He didn't really micro it or reinforce it. He was busy teching up, which he did do quite a bit of damage. He took out the natural. He damaged a lot of the 3rd. If we look at the units lost, he has killed 55 workers, 55 probes, which is a very large number in this scenario, especially within 22 minutes time. Protoss has more units killed, but you have to remember that those are a lot of Zerglings, so that's not really as much of a problem. The 2 Swarm Hosts do go down for no reason. The Void Rays cleaning them out and they didn't burrow or anything. And I would definitely like to see burrow out of the Zerg instead of massing Queens. I know he's trying to defend against the Void Rays, but there's a lot more he could do to do that. A few warp-ins of Stalkers with that Blink micro will take out any number of Queens that he wants to throw out, but 12 Hydras do start. That's much more efficient when fighting Void Rays, and they do out-damage Stalkers. It just depends on how well the Blink micro is from Protoss. Supply is still even. Burrow does start. I'm very happy about that. I've always thought that Burrow is not used as nearly enough as it should be for Zergs. And he is starting Charge, but has no Zealots. I don't know if I agree with that, but he has so much money that it doesn't really matter at this point. He's going to have his natural backup. His main is mined out, basically. This Geyser still has 1400 gas on it, though. Fleet Beacon is down, but he's not using it at all. This army's moving in. He's going to be able to hit these buildings from the high ground. He doesn't know about this army, though. And if they just blinked on and started hitting the Hydralisk, this army could do a lot. So we will have a combat here. The Hydralisk are not focusing down the Void Rays, nor are the Queens. The Stalkers are going to blast through everything. They have the 2-2 upgrades compared to the, what, no upgrades? No upgrades on Zerg. That's also a big mistake. He wants to take care of that a lot earlier. Double Evo Chamber is very important. So Protoss is moving in with about 70 more supply. He's going to march in on this 3rd base and take that out very quickly. He should just press this, no matter what Zerg does at this point. I don't think he can come back unless he had a nice Ultralisk with a few Hydralisk. Even then, Blink Micro and Void Ray damage are just too high right now. Or Blink Micro is very strong, it always has been. And Void Rays are very strong in Heart of the Swarm with that new ability, the Prismatic Alignment. Yeah. So we have Hydralisk and Mutalist coming out, both of which can hit the Void Rays, both of which aren't very good in straight-up combat with Stalkers. These drones get taken out. Nobody's teching up past this. The Greater Spire is coming out, but it's not going to help him. It's not going to be a part of anything. It's basically useless at this point. He would need a much different army composition than this. We see the engagement, though. The Void Rays aren't hitting the units, and the Hydras are doing quite a bit of damage, even though they don't have upgrades. they still do a decent amount of DPS. The upgrades advantage, though, definitely helping Protoss. Made Stalkers do reasonable damage, and if they're not being countered by the armor upgrades, they are going to definitely hurt a lot more. And the armor upgrades making them survive longer, making Blink Micro that much more effective as well. See these probes going out. No proxy pylon. Oh, except for right here. But he's not been using that. He is supply capped. He does want to throw down more gateways since he has 4,000 minerals, but he has yet to do that. He is probably going to move in on this space right here, the now third. And it's fully saturated. It has one infester, but there's nothing else there to defend it. However, we do have an engagement here if my screen was moving. He's losing a lot here. The queens need to be transfusing, but this is why Void Rays are very strong. Even though they're using prismatic alignment on light units, they're still powering through. It does no extra damage against these units. There are a lot of queens and hydras here. They could take down the Void Rays, but with the stalkers coming up from behind, they probably won't. The Void Rays do start on the queens. There's only 3 left, and these are all going to fall. There's the GG, and the Protoss taking it. Oh, a little bit of chat at the end. The Protoss, oh, he doesn't play there. That does explain quite a bit. He was, like, very weird in his build. The 8 pool didn't work, and then he didn't get any gas. He didn't start speed until late. It was decent for a while, but he needed to be a lot more efficient with his units. He needed to take the proper third base just because it's easier to defend. He needed to scout more, as did the Protoss, however, because he could have taken out this base later on a lot easier, and this game would have lasted a lot. It would have been a lot shorter. But either way, they both played pretty well. skdeimos or whatnot was the winner here.